until they're on.
Glass and spit out on me.
I don't think glass.
It doesn't matter when you play.
Well, it's brand new, lads. But look forward to the printing cost chat in the Finance and Sustainability Committee.
I bet we do it the colour one first. Okay, we'll open the meeting at 6:30. Thank you very much, Jason. Apologies, we don't have any leave of absence. There are none. Confirmation of council minutes. Recommendation the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held Wednesday, 16th of July, 2025 be taken as read and confirmed. Move it for that, please. Luke, seconder. Trevor, does anyone want to speak to that? All those in favour? Again? Yeah, well, you still read the minutes. And it's on live stream, so. Gary, thank you. Opening remarks. I guess I just want to make a couple of comments. One was that I think it's great for the district to see, even though there are varying outcomes of the rain, there's plenty of green around, and I think you can sense a change in attitude around that. At least it's not going to be potentially as dire as it was. So that's a positive outcome, and I think that affects people's mental health and well-being quite dramatically. So that's a good thing and well received. I think it's worth noting for those that don't know that Lameroo has made it as a finalist in the Ag Town of the Year in the top 10, which is a positive outcome as well. And that's been advertised on social media. So that's
Top three.
well, top 10 and advertised.
Yeah, I was going to talk about it in public, and you brought it up. Sorry,
Okay.
for you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, we're top three.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to say that because I didn't know it was public,
Yeah,
but if it is
today,
public.
I got the email this morning.
Okay, so it's been made public. We're in the top 3 finalists, which is great. I was hedging my bets with top 10. So that's positive. I mean, it's as it was for Penaroo, it just speaks well of our community, and they don't just give it away willy-nilly. There is a process behind it. So I think both of those things bode well. So that's it for that. Thank you. Declarations of conflict of interest. I don't think we have any. No one's put them forward. Oh, petitions, there are none. Deputations, there are none. Presentations, there are none. Elected member reports, mayoral update. Obviously that's there and we'll take most of it as read. I probably just wanted to make a couple of notes. One was that CEO Jason and I attended the Mayor and CEO Forum. He's written quite extensively about that as well, but I think there was a couple of takeaways for it from me that I think are worth voicing, and one was that we're not alone. Financial sustainability and the struggle of the infrastructure load on revenue of councils is felt by councils like us, non-growth councils in particular, but growth ones as well. And to varying degrees, all of the councils are coming to the same realisation that we've been coming to over the last couple of years of how much of a situation it is for them and how significant a challenge it's going to be. And I think to that end, how little help both other levels of government, state and federal, are going to be currently, unless things change. There's nothing that's showing any light of us not having to deal with it ourselves and like-minded councils. So I think Jason will be able to speak to more for himself, but there's a lot of discussion around shared services and what we can do collectively to help each other, because there's no one else coming to save the day at this point, which is a blight on our, particularly federal government, with $2.189 million underfunded last year. Is just not on, but we'll continue the fight. And the other one was the note there about NTRO, us taking NTRO, National Transport Research Organisation, on as our partner in place of, well, last time, I can't think of who it was that we used, but private contractors to do the road condition report and revaluation and transport plan. I think that's really significant, being that they're kind of like the government's version of roads to CSIRO. So they're a government organisation. One meeting if we can. Sharon? So yeah, I just thought those two things, and probably the last one was Sala. Been invited 3 years in a row to go to Karoonda's Sala event for lights. Haven't been able to make it the last 2 years, did go this year, and most of the other mayors from the district were there as well. And it was a really good public event. It just goes to show what they can do with a bit of horsepower, and we have those with Penaroo Project and Lameroo Forward doing their things, but it was really good turnout for Karoonda, and it was good for them to have the support of neighbouring councils to come and support that as well. So that's it for that. I need to move that, don't I? So I'm moving it. The council receives and notes content of this report. Second,
Yes.
Trevor, anyone want to speak to it? No, all those in favour? Against? Carried, thank you. Elected member reports. Do we have any? Start with Chris.
Sadly, I was asked to sit in on a Zoom conversation about volunteerism in was for ambulance, but crossed over through emergency services. And they were a company employed by SA Ambulance to see how they're advertising and what the public's perception is of them. It was an interesting selection of people that they had on there. I don't think much will happen out of it, but the one thing I did get at the end of it was that last year's common sense of people not volunteering was living pressures, financial
Cost of living.
And this year the main assumption now that's coming out of all the interviews I did is that the perception of management from higher up is not what people are agreeing with. It seems there's across the state, a lot of areas are all thinking the same thing. So that was being put together and reported back in a report to SA Ambulance. Whether anything happens from there on in, I doubt. But
I'm sure he'll go on his desk in the straight direction.
yes, anyway, that's what I did.
Thank you.
Just want to say well done to the Pinaroo, the PCA group there. They got the clock refurbished. It now tells the time. There's a light at night. The power goes out, it catches up. So it was all done with grant funding, which was really good on their behalf. So well done to them.
Neville,
Nothing.
no, is anything happening on the dog's side of it with all the Victorian stuff, or is
That's
that?
all gone for.
Righto.
So
Luke?
the only, brought the only Tom yesterday, no, I'm done. I'm gonna bring it out a bit.
So I don't think we need to move that one of Chris's, do we? That's just no, that's right. Okay, cool, thank you. Reports to the committees, we don't have any. About to have our first committee, maybe. 11.1 corporate services, 27.
Thanks, Mayor Valentine. So this report provides an update of activities and financial information for the last month. Just a few items to point out. Just wanted to acknowledge that the capital performance report wasn't quite right. I picked it up. But at the time of the report, we were still trying to decrease or hand over some responsibilities, create new assets. So that's all since been done. So you see that come through on this month's report.
I just want to add as well through. This sort of stuff would be cool. But Tony was properly crook for 2 weeks and then came back right before agenda came out. So, yeah.
Obviously staff still working through the annual financial statement task. I've got auditors booked to come in September, so that's an important deadline for us at the moment. You get your first quarter rates notices released with a due date of 9th of September next month, so that's not too far away. We've got updated information there with the bank balances. Just an update on that. Just yesterday, we received another $236,000 for grants commission payments, so it's well received. We know that the members have expressed an interest and more information in relation to cash flows and SDN rates. So yes, we'll be working on that for future reports and future workshops, particularly in relation to rates. But as I said, be a way just to collate again and present that to you. In relation to childcare, significant tasks I've just completed was the lodgement of the 2 annual budgets using the budget tool, which leads to a line on the various requirements. It's always a complex and task, so I'm quite happy that that's completed and done, which is good. Just asking, I met with our funding manager yesterday for a whole heap of updates. They've receiving that deal, which was good. It was the first of many meetings we're going to have with our new funding managers, which is a positive step because usually we don't hear too much from them. Usually the engagement tends to go last, so yeah, we're hoping to have a lot more very good meetings and let out the whole system, which is good. The TOG's team are progressing well with various tasks, and they're also looking forward to the career expo next week. And we need to see if we get any new trainees or interest out of that. WHS land is still tracking well with all their action plans and new staff. We continue to meet with them weekly to maintain our focus in that area, so we're keeping goals there. And just finally, just wanted to remind elected members and also managers, just to get a recent email for related party disclosures. Hopefully you've all seen that, thanks to those that have responded. And yeah, hopefully we can get it by the end of the week. If you haven't seen it or need a copy or read it, press status and you let us know. Yeah, so the recommendation of the council is even make the report.
Now, do I have a mover for that? Dave or Luke, sorry, and seconded David. Do you want to speak to that? I've got a couple of questions if I could, Tony. One on the, and this is really a comment, I've already put it to Jason, but so this relates to you. The email you've put a have you registered yet question mark with the rates notice electronically.
Yep.
Yes, I've received them electronically, but then I received the hard copies as well. So we won't get the saving unless we
Yeah, so I think the
cut the hard copies.
we always send it the first one hard copy, and
Yeah.
then the next one should be.
Yeah, I think I might have been emailed before that, but the other question I wanted to ask was just around, I read in the COGS, Payroll and Human Services resignation by one of the Mallee COGS managers has resulted in Darcy increasing the hours. So I just want to, I guess, understand, in an org chart, so we have directors and managers and team leaders. Is that I'm just trying to understand the org chart because I thought we obviously had two directors.
For the childcare?
Yeah, that's what it says, it's COGS, yep.
Yeah, so COGS is manager, team leader, supervisor.
So I think in other childcare centres, they're commonly referred to as directors.
Yeah.
It's like an industry term, but fitting in with council's org structure and how we're running.
Yeah.
We've got.
Just it says resignation by one of the Mallee COGS managers resulted in Darcy increasing her days, so.
Yeah.
I thought the two was, yeah,
Yeah, there were two managers.
There was two job sharing.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And what was one of them, who's gone? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
oh, there you go, that's the part I wasn't aware of, so I was trying, it wasn't making sense to me,
Sorry. Yeah.
it wasn't secret squirrel's business, I was just trying to understand who left.
Yeah, no, sorry, B.
They decided to move on,
Couldn't work with the CEO.
pretty much.
It was too handsy at work.
I think just, we're trying to do the job share, two days a week, so it really wasn't really working.
Yeah.
And so she took that on her own.
No, that's-
No issues with them.
No,
So
that's not
everything else is fine. Darcy had capacity to pick up an extra day.
Yeah, no, that all makes sense to me, I said, I thought we were employing a director of service and I thought that was split, and then I thought, hang on, we've got 3 tiers for the organisation, seem quite high, so no, that's cool. Cool, no worries, that's it for me, all those in favour? Against, carried, thank you.
Thank you very much.
11.2, page 18. Yeah, your show, fun show.
So this is a report for the overview of the property development services activities completed during July, not June, as it says in the report. So I don't know how I missed that one. Sorry about it. So I'll just give you a couple of highlights of things that we've done. Pinner Retirement Village, we've gone out for expressions of interest. We had one return for that, but we've had more than, I think, about 3 or 4 other people ring about it, so particularly one out there, so we'll see where that ends up. We submitted 2 grant applications to Rabobank Rural Community Hub, seeking funding for heating upgrades and cooling upgrades in the Institute and Memorial Hall, so hopefully if we get those, we can do a little something there. The request for a comprehensive quote to contract an inspection date for August, that's on the rotunda. Sorry, I didn't put in what it was actually for, but that's what it was for. And you'll see the new updated schedule for Liquid Pacific with regards to the asset management side of I'll give it a second, sorry, my brain's just frozen. The asset management and building maintenance program plans, so inspections. We've sent out 125 reminder emails and 186, sorry, not 100, 86 letters for pet owners to tell them to register their animals. And currently we're sitting at #1 across the state with regards to percentage pre-registered, so yeah, great. Got another week to go, there'll be another email and social media blast going out this week if it hasn't already gone out, hopefully, and then we will at the end of the period, and we'll see where we're at then. We're reviewing the DSLUDGE program and getting ready for next year's as well. Although it does say completed in there, it was partly in July as well. And we've still got a few other activities going on with regards to building fire safety committee and the stormwater issues at Pinneroo Avenue and Harvey Street. So, but we have solutions hopefully in hand for a few months. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The recommendation, I guess, is that the council receive a note to report.
I've moved for that. Neville, second to Luke. Any questions, David?
Just one question, the tourism brochure. Yes, in Pinneroo, why not? Wider.
Got to start somewhere.
Did we do one each?
It's one combined.
I think it's combined, yeah.
So why not combine the whole region?
Yes, yeah, fair one, but again, we've got to start somewhere, so if we can expand it as we go.
Didn't the craft centre and that there have one that they did up? It was all,
Lamery Forward did one.
Lamering Ford did one, they had one as well, when we went and did the look through there. They had them in there, Carol Haskell gave me one,
Yeah.
and it had from Pinneroo through to Drake.
Because we just copied last time.
I think the simple answer is, so is that a print or is that like an internal or external printed thing? Or is it an electronic?
I think it's like. Sorry.
It's down with the printed.
Yeah,
Okay,
so.
we should just take that on board. It should cover a couple of the whole district, absolutely. Yeah.
What fun of it, you know.
It should have everything. It's got all-
Yeah.
Can I ask what's happening with Pies housing development down there with all the water that's laying around?
Yep, so I can't say too much, so we're gonna go back and discuss it with them, but we have a solution. Proposed solution in hand is whether it's agreed to, so hopefully by the end of next month, we'll have a solution and actually complete the project.
And report.
If that's the one I spoke to Ben about, it's not the best solution on the face of the earth that was given, let's put it that way. All they want to do is basically leave what's there and tidy it up a little bit. They're saying it works perfectly fine, basically.
Yes.
And to leave the big stupid hump in the driveway.
What are they?
Like,
Yes, that's where we need to say that that's not good enough and you need to fix it. So I'm not happy with it that way.
That's what we agreed from. Yeah, not the post.
Yeah.
The
But I'll be putting my thing forward saying that I definitely won't be, I'm not happy with it.
Perhaps if we wait, then I suggest we wait for the report to come and then adjudicate, because I don't think you're off the money, but
Yeah.
obviously we need to see what the outcome is.
Yeah.
But Campbell, did you want to ask something before?
Yeah, the quoted fee for the building condition assessments, 150 grand, that's a lot of money.
We went back, it's not,
So that's more.
it's back, it's in budget.
What did we budget?
Yeah, I think it says that down there a bit
Yeah,
further.
that's still a lot of money. Yeah, we do.
Mhm.
Certainly is.
Did you have anything, Neville?
No.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, so I'll come back to this. Campbell was first, so, yeah, but that one, I think when that report comes, certainly raise any of the issues you've got with it.
Yeah, I just think it's
Yeah.
something we just really need to push back on.
Yeah. Can't really say any more until we get that report, but there's more to it behind that.
Yeah.
Historically,
Yeah, I know. You just
Yeah,
do your job.
Yeah.
Fix it. Anyone?
Yeah.
That's just my view.
yeah.
And I know they can hear it. Good.
Anything else?
No.
Trevor?
No, don't.
I'd like to ask a couple, the kitchen, kitchen compliance with food safety standards. It says aimed at improving kitchen compliance. So is it now compliant with the dishwasher and the hand washing station?
There's still stuff that it'll pass well enough. For yes.
Shiloh compliance is a yes or no answer.
Short answer, yes, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Did you give me confidence in the yes? Well, it's just from that's all we're after, is to be compliant. We're not after taking it some mythical level. It's just, is it compliant or not? And if it is, great, because
At the moment, yes, there is other things, if Laminate peels off further, then other stuff will have to be looked at, but at the moment, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Is that laminate peeling off wasn't on the
no, wasn't,
report
but
before?
there's a bubble in one of them, so.
Yeah, you blew out.
Yeah. Some.
You can go over the top, but it's only got to be non-permeable.
They're in the cabinet.
And the other one was the desludging that you mentioned there, desludging program. Is that included in the CWMS charge as part of the connection fee, or is that a cost to the budget?
Question.
Because I would have thought that, well, that should be part of the CWMS.
Think it is, I'd have to check that, I don't know.
You take that as a.
You get the end of that budget.
We go, it's a 3-year contract, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that in our effluent, because we get asked to make decisions on charges on the understanding that that's a completely self-sufficient system. And I guess I just want to make sure that includes desludging, because I've read desludging in that, and in the infrastructure report is there as well.
That's done every 3 years, used to be 4, I thought, before we straight.
I think 3 since I've been in this. That program won't run until January, so.
Yeah. That's cool.
Getting everything.
Keep an eye on it, make sure.
And are you getting much use through SnapSend Solve that's coming to your community engagement activities?
Not from my end.
Not from your side, yeah.
No.
Oh,
But it's something that we'll push with permit holders, et cetera.
Yeah. And you mentioned down there, complete activities approved 3 venue hire applications during July. I was just curious as to what they were, like for which facilities.
Off the top of my head, I think 2 of them were for the Lamoureux Hall and 1 was for the meeting space.
If you wouldn't mind including those, and because I think that's the detail that would be handy in the report, is to know what those building uses are, because I think they're the things they're going to influence in decision making, like the earlier stuff. Yeah, sure. No, that's cool. All those in favour? Against? Carries? Thank you. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
Infrastructure services, I assume that's going to be CEO in place of Ben, right?
Yes. So
This is going to be in depth.
this is already in depth, and I look around and I see a group of gentlemen that come prepared to the meeting, so I don't have to talk too much to it because you've read it all. So I'm taking it as read, and my recommendation for Ben's infrastructure report is that council receive and note.
Have a mover for that, please. Neville, seconder. Luke, and any questions? David's hand go up.
Yeah, I can't see how you can repair the Tarragona Well Road for $200,000. Just can't see it. 3.2 kilometres of. 200,000. On the side of the road,
No, that's patch, isn't it?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's patch.
Cement treatment is 200. Quotes for December 24 indicated cement treated stabilisation.
Yeah, but that's not the whole thing. They're only in the sections, mate.
Yeah, I measured that last night when we were there, and it's about 3.2 kilometres on one side of the road, and then you will Stephen strips on the other side of the road.
It's
I tried to say that.
I can't see how 200,000 will fix it, but it's just patching or.
Yeah.
I think the answer to that is Ben wasn't able to make this meeting. I probably should have had him, not as an apology, it's not an apology, but he'll be at the next meeting, and he said, he understands September's going to be a big meeting. So I think there's also a thing down there that there'll be next steps is to include it, reissue tender for revised pricing and implementation on site. Because he's also sort of said that was back in December 24, and whether that's a complete reinstatement to new or a patch, I can't say, but I think hold that for September. Because what he's basically said,
he's going to be here.
what he's basically said is he's leaving that to one side until compromise is resolved.
Yeah.
And then once he knows how much money's left and what the thing is, then deal with it then.
Yeah.
And also Carcooma as well.
That is going to do well.
Yeah, but what's there's
that's-
the council is, it's getting, what's finished down there. I
Yeah.
believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
One
Yep, go for it. Yeah, you go for it.
was, we sort of agreed to do the coming to the school and street sweep it, and they did it once, but the next one they didn't, so just a reminder. Sure. Just coming past the cafe and hot shop and the bus bay. It's just simple, just come in and go out.
Yeah.
That's what.
Neville?
No, there's a lot of comments about the roads, how they're looking now, they're pretty darn good with the running sandbag blood over and the watering and that, it's done quite, with only places, some gateways where that's really holding, there's still holes there, they need a bit more, something down to them where where those patches are bad and they sort of haven't remedied them 100% yet. But
So I
that's,
think if you can with those, that's a perfect snap sense of,
Yeah.
you know, come to that gateway, take the photo, geotags it,
Yeah.
put your comment, because the more internally it's a change, like it causes people work, but ultimately what they're looking for that to do is have enough usage that we can move to the paid version, which actually does a lot more of the behind the scenes stuff for the staff. But that's not gonna happen if we get
Too big.
ad hoc
Yeah.
usage of it.
well,
Yeah.
other than he's doing a heck of a good job, you know, and everyone's pretty happy with what's happening for sure.
Thank you. Luke,
My way, to be honest.
would, yeah, politely, yes.
Well, no, Ben's doing a good job. I'll let it go on.
Okay. I know you've had the things you want to talk about, you've had direct conversation.
Grader operator down here has been absolutely beautiful. What he's done in the main street up there in Pinaroo, fantastic.
Yeah.
Won't talk about anywhere else that's had grading, but
Okay, yep. Understood. Trevor?
No comment.
No comment. I've just got a couple of technical ones if I can, please, acting. All I wanted to know is the contract unit rate. So in this page underneath the things, contract unit rates have been adjusted for CPI of 2.2 as per contract conditions. My question was simply going to be, is 2.2 what we, and you take this on notice obviously, is 2.2% our actual increase in cost, or is it just the CPI rate? Because today our actual increase has been far in excess of the CPI rate. So it's no good us using an arbitrary number. If ours is 4% and it's gone up 2.2 at CPI, we should be going up 4%. If ours is 2.2, fantastic, that's good. Yeah, but we need clarity over that because that's kind of what's dug us in a bit of a hole previously.
if it is 2.2, that's fantastic.
No, I agree. Absolutely. Let's go check my pages. Sure, I think that was. No, that was it for that one.
One more.
Yeah, but
The Lameroo Golf Club irrigation, how are we going with figuring out something with them?
I've got a whole stack of information here that I need to condense down to a letter to them, particularly about their about the sewage water and what it means to be pumped out. So I've got a whole bit of work to do there to send to them. The gist of it is it's fine, and the way it works, and there's a whole testing regime of water and that SA Water do, and they do it 4 times a year and all of that. So the shandy mix that's getting put onto the fairways is fine. So that's where we're up to with that. And I've just got to distill that into a letter for me to say.
And we're figuring out a way for them to get full irrigation onto the course when they need it.
well, it's in that report.
Yeah.
Ben's actually listed there one of the actions, which is alpha scoping or something, is a variable rate controller for the VFD. Yeah, VFD for the soap pump. So they can slow it down or wind it up.
Back, we heard anything about from Heights tonight?
Is that 3K?
It's been raised twice, but I know about the alternative option, you know, tanks above ground pumps, all kinds of things, but it just keeps
Is
going.
that pump 3Ks?
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yes.
I was going to say, because you
All those in favour? Against? Carried, thank you. Well done, pseudo Ben. Now we've got pseudo CEO. Good, 11.4, page 53. Pseudo Echo.
Which one? Which report is this one? Is this my update, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought this was at the end, but okay. Cool. Here's my update, what I've been up to for a month-ish. So you can see all my meetings and what have you there. I will also mention, had a lovely day Sunday with the Lions up here for the handover. That was really nice out here at the
Dragers Airfield.
Yeah.
Or what?
Well, that's what they call it.
Yeah, so every year the Lions have a handover, which is the official thing to go from one administration to the next. And they normally have representation from Lions, like all the hierarchy. Turned out this year there was no hierarchy, but there was the mayor and the CEO and our partners and kids. And it was a good day, and they were carrying over the executive, so there really wasn't any great handover. But that's what I thought. Lions got handover.
Yeah.
Dan was there, Dan Roney and his wife were there. Pinaroo, Lions.
Yeah, president.
President.
Yep.
The Ag Count of the Year is, so we're down to Lameroo's to the top 3. which is a great effort. Big shout out goes to Holly Byrne. She took a few conversations and then turned it into this just brilliant submission. It was fantastic using, so last year Panola won and they used, who's the little farm character? What's his name? George the farmer. Yeah, so they used his voice. Holly used the two characters on our silos and as if they were speaking. So yeah, she did a great job. And of course, Nicole.
Yeah, Georgia Farms from Penola.
Yes, that's what, yeah.
Of course, though.
Yeah.
Who's the other two towns?
The other two is Kimber and Keith. So, it's a one horse race. So of course we've got Lamoureux Forward through Nicole as well, working through it. So it's going to be brilliant. The judges will be out in September the 11th from 2 to 6. So that's a 3-hour tour with an itinerary. We've got to get to them in the next week. And then 1 hour of community consultation, basically where we get members of the community to hang around and the judges can ask questions and what have you. So it's
No paid actors there.
no, but there will be a lot of strategically placed people, I think, throughout the town.
You're on camera.
And where we go. So yeah, that's exciting. That's really good. You mentioned to it before about the Mayor and CEO forum, so you can. I've written a little bit there about what it was all about, but I echo what you said about it's interesting when you get into these and you have the feeling like, oh, you'll be fine, you know, you've got lots of money, but then we sat down with Victor Harbour, like, oh God, everyone's moving there and you've got lots, and the
Infrastructure demand.
infrastructure is killing them. They're just, you know, trying to build a hall and how it's just killing them. They don't know what to do. They've got,
Their difference is building bright new shiny stuff for constituents to keep them happy.
That's right.
As opposed to the non-growth or about how do we look after what we got.
Yeah. I also thought it was really nice, like I said, with that the space between us was it sounds naff, but we had to fill out and go through how we rated us how we're feeling, and
this was about the mayor CEO relationship
and how the council's going and how we feel the direction.
by hour and a half session.
Yeah. We all held hands, struggled, once
I stopped getting there, it was okay.
yeah, oiled each other up and.
Hang on, we're just going in different directions.
We don't have an half of the session.
How do we tell the CEO that one step too far?
But what came out of that was we had to sort of assess where we're at, and we were on the same page, which is really good. So much so that we thought that the end game that they were saying was a little bit overdone. It was a little bit
Utopian.
yeah, it was a little bit. So no, we're happy just to move up to the next level. So, so that was
And just to it, I mean, you said that we've got to get them away from the soapy ladder. That was about, you know, where does a relationship between a CEO and a mayor start? And it's kind of lack of trust, lack of everything. You've got to see what this person is. How quickly do you get to a point where you're on the same page? And then, you know, the utopian thing was this ridiculous state that you don't even look for that. Yeah. And we both agreed that we were sort of at the middle of that, where we're both on the same page. We understand what we're doing. The council and the CEO, like the chamber and the CEO, are in alignment. And it's about delivery. And the next stage is proof of delivery.
That's
really right. Is once you've delivered it, then you can have that confidence going forward.
Yeah. If
you don't deliver it, well, then you take a step back and you go down another channel.
Yeah. So the way I've been feeling it is we're all, us as well, we're all sort of standing looking in the right direction. We're all looking in the same direction.
We're on the same bus.
We're not running there yet, but we're all going, that's where we need to go. So that's good. So that was interesting. I don't know if we need to do it every year, do we?
Oh, look, that's put pins in your eyes.
Yeah.
Like, just horrendous.
Yeah, I'm glad we did it once. And then, so look, a part of the CEO Mayor Forum as well was about the Local Government Association putting out their feelers about what they should do better. And the other meeting I've got, yeah, they got drilled, don't you worry. And the other meeting I went to in Adelaide was a CEO workshop about the role of the Local Government Association. So they basically asked us the same questions, we drilled them, and then they came back at the CEO and went, oh, here's some things that we're trying to work on. It's like, hang on a minute, put all the crap that we
Yeah,
do.
they left all
Yeah.
the, they left all the, you know, one of the suggestions was get rid of elected members. That one didn't get to the table somehow for the mayor's forum. I don't understand why.
Yeah. No, we would never say that. No. But yeah, there's some interesting things they're talking about there, and you know, look, it's local government, so they're talking about it now. So by the time
10 years.
yeah, it'll be 10, 15 years before any change happens. But they're talking to sort of try and split it up with the local government association, have the mayors, and work on the advocacy side. From what you were talking about funding and what have you, run by the mayors and a committee of mayors, and then the other side, which is more of a shared services side, which is run by CEOs, where we can then start to look at what does back-end finance look like and why aren't we all doing the same? What is payroll, IT, cyber, all of that? Why are we all doing the same thing? So it was a really interesting, EBs, HR, all of that sort of stuff. Why we all doing it the same when we're all in the same business.
It's probably even though it's your thing, I'll just share in that. I mean, as Jason said, the LGA are under no illusion that the constituent member council, 68 of them, a large majority are unhappy with what the LGA is doing and that they're not actually helping. And I relayed that again just recently. Now they say they understand the new chief, which is Heather Harms-Ross. She's on board with change, and there's a lot of stuff coming out. Now, whether that will deliver anything, because the problem with them is they have 2 years metro, 2 years rural, so they mandatorily change president every 2 years, which is really problematic because you kind of only just get a bit of a start. So the CEO who'd been there for 4 or 5 years has gone. So they've got an acting CEO, and they're currently looking. And they told us that CEO is going to come in with a clear vision of, a bit like with Jason coming in, you know, we're not looking for someone to keep going the way we were going. We're looking for someone to evolve this thing, because clearly a lot of mayors are saying to their CEOs, and chambers are saying, what do they do for us? Because we actually don't have to be a member. We choose to be a member, and they're supposed to be there as our representative body.
So if we all pulled out, they'd have no money.
Well, it's not so much they won't have money, it's that they love to proclaim that all 68 councils are member councils, which is the only state that's the case. In every other state, not everyone is a member because they don't all agree. So at some point, if they don't sort of get in alignment, if it wasn't for things like insurance and back-end services, that a lot of which can be provided other ways now, a lot of councils like ours would be saying, well, let's do a bit of a protest and not be in it for a bit and let the government see, well, hang on, if they only got 38 councils joining up, what the hell's going on?
Well, the Metropolitan one wasn't a member for a fair few years.
There was before my term, Marion was about to pull out again, and there was a number of others that were talking about it. So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to, I just thought it's worth mentioning that because there's that very, they are talking about the splitting representative, but we've also said they have a SAROC, which is SA Regional Councils, which we're part of, and they have GAROC, which is the Greater Adelaide. And neither of those are working either. They're quite dysfunctional. And they just had a big review where we all got the opportunity to make comments and, you know, go into all their changes, and nothing substantive has happened. So, yeah, that's.
So we're asking the question though, so.
They are. Well, hopefully they listen this time.
Yeah. And then a couple more, so workforce planning sessions. I just wanted to put this in there because we've done all the teams except for infrastructure. We haven't done yet, and it's been really interesting, and it's been I think I've been here long enough now that I can talk with some sort of authority about what I've seen and what I think sort of changes need to be made. But it's also about having discussions with the staff about, this is where we are at the moment. This is what everyone does. This here is where we actually need to go, financial sustainability strategy and the strategic plan I'm looking at. So I need this to get into here. How do we make that happen? And it's only been positive. Staff have been brilliant for it, I've got to say. So change is a scary thing, but we've got a lot of good people that are willing to change, and are happy to see direction. I think Shiloh mentioned as well, just going of, you know, it's great to actually see some direction and about where, when decisions are made, what's the end game of the decision, not what puts me right now in this, you know, in this little moment, but actually this decision needs to be about here. So to actually think strategically as an administration is this has been a great first step. We've got a few more to go. We've got to keep checking up on them. But yeah, it's been interesting. I just wanted to pop that in. I've also got the customer service report in there, and this is where SnapSense Solve comes in. So if you have a look at, this is just for the month of July. And if you have a look there, we've had 52 logged customer service report, and you can see them. This is Ben
56.
using SnapSense Solve as an internal tool.
Is that 48 from Ben?
48, not from, probably 39 or something like that. Yeah, I think there's close to 40 that it's just been.
Yeah.
No, it's good. When he's out there taking, because it's good. There it is. It means, look, what it does is it kills the spirit of the records girls, I got to say, the poor things, because this process has turned one step into about 10 or 11. So we can do records management, capture it properly and make, you know, all of that sort of fun. But there's a whole heap of work being done IT-wise in the background as well. And this, if we can find a way for this to be a part of our whole solution and for it to be cheaper than what we're doing with Synergy, I would love to pull the trigger on SnapSense Solve and use that as our customer relationship management tool. And use it internally for anything.
It's so easy. You literally stop, you pull up at the pothole out here on Chandler's, you get out of the car, you take a photo, or you log into SnapSense Solve, it says, you want to take a photo? Yeah, it already geotags it, and you just write down what it is that your thing is not right and submit. That's it. From a person putting it in, there's no abuse you and go, bloody arseholes putting it on. But it gets it in there.
Yeah.
And like mine is, because it's part of a sealed road issue that is not dealt with, it comes back after a period of time and says, look, this has not been rectified. Do you want to make it go away or keep it on the register? And of course, being a prick, I said, keep it on the register because I want it to an outcome, but it doesn't let it forget it. The system doesn't let it forget. So you don't get things that have been reported unless you say you're happy for it to be forgotten. It will stay on there until it's resolved.
Yeah. And what it'll also do if we go to the paid tier is you'll put one in, and then when it's opened by Ben, because it depends what it is, if it's a Ben thing, you'll get a text or an email saying it's been opened. Ben will then go and do it and press another button. You'll get an email saying it's being done, and then when it's closed out, you'll then get an email saying it's done. So not only are we doing it and tracking exactly what's getting done, we're getting more communication to the community and letting them know exactly what we're doing.
Progress
but
report.
Nothing's changed. We're not.
Well, once you get to that paid version, they don't have the 11 steps to make.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
it gets rid of the 11 steps.
Yeah.
Most of them, if not all of them. So because it goes straight to the person, so it won't go to Ben. It would go to, if it's a town thing in Pinneroo, it goes to such and such.
Shiloh is another one that's mentioned. Yeah, when he gets them, he can actually just walk in and know what the issue is because someone's taken a photo instead of walking in and going, what?
And geotagged it.
What's going on with this building?
I've walked around for 45 minutes one day trying to figure out what someone sent me in an email.
Yeah.
Tried to go on, couldn't get on. Eventually figured it out, but yeah, 45 minutes.
Cool. So that's my CEO update.
Do I have a mover for that, please? Neville, second to Luke. Anyone got any questions? All those in favour? Against? Carried, thank you. Annual business plan projects update.
So this is one of my first CEO updates. I told you this is what we're going to do. So now here it is. So I'm not going to go through each one because that's your job. But what this does, this is all the projects that we as a group committed to in the annual business plan. Anything sort of over $20,000, if it's just a little, $2,000 or $3,000 one, they're not in there. But what it means is, instead of being where's this, it's here we are. This is what's going on for this month and for this project. So this will hopefully reduce the staff members' updates as well, because they won't need to go through each of their projects, because that's what this is for. But yeah, I just wanted to include this so you've got full view of what our projects are doing. And again, I don't think we've got them in there, but sort of start dates as well. So if you can say what's going on with this, it's like, well, actually, it's not scheduled until next March. Ask me then. It's also got whether it's a carryover project or how much is spent, purchase orders outstanding, all of that sort of stuff. So just to make it a little bit more transparent, and really, so we can start to get it down the officers' updates as well.
So that's just more than what you're doing. It's a damn good idea. Good stuff you read.
Good. Just wanna.
So page 82.
Well, let's move it first and then we can ask questions.
Yeah.
So, do I have a mover? Chris? Second to David. Righto, now, any questions?
Just page 82 said road. It's talk about computers. But my question really was, what happens to those computers that are replaced?
Do they have that?
Right again.
So,
So you do get the money for them,
They're not very much.
Is it worth selling it back to the community? That's all I wanted.
Better off giving them,
Giving.
but they need to be completely wiped.
Yeah.
They need to be,
Quite often with those sensitive ones, they're wiped by putting a drill bit through the hard drive.
is that? Yeah, really.
I know we did in Scania, like there's no way a computer went out unless the hard drive was bored through. Just for the risk of something being, I'm not saying that's the case, but that's what we used to have to do.
I've probably uploaded these things 3 times and I can't believe I missed that. I appreciate it. Where it said IT upgrades. I will actually mention about the infrastructure replacement. We've got 50 grand in there and we could spend it tomorrow. But the problem is we could spend it tomorrow and we would only see marginal difference internally. In the community, they would see no difference to what happens. So we've held back a little bit on that, and there is a risk in doing so because it means we will come a couple of our Microsoft products will be out of date next year. So it does come with a bit of a risk there. But what it means is we need to pull forward our systems upgrade stuff, so our new synergies, our records management, and all of that. So if we can get cloud-based, cloud-first systems in place, right, we won't need to spend that 50 grand on nothing because it would be nothing. But if we spent it now, and then we still went out in 2 years' time to do our or 18 months or whatever it is, it'd just be a waste of money. It'd be a waste of money. So I just wanted to say that there is a bit of a risk doing it, but we're really not going to mitigate it. So you will see there might be some. I've got records management next Monday. I think I've set up meetings. I've got meetings already for new synergy products as well set up in the next couple of weeks. Just to sort of get quotes and how they work and get Tony and his team involved and what we can do. So we might have to pull that sort of stuff forward and their discussions we'll have in the future. But I think spending 50 grand blindly because our IT guys said we should.
50 towards our million.
That's right. Look at that.
David?
Yeah, that's
Probably not a question, but I'll just add into that. Jason and I speak almost, I think every week we do speak about it, like what's the big picture? How are we going to, because this $1 million is 10%, this is real, this is not something we're fluffing around with. We need to try and find these savings. And so, I'd written at the top of the manager's reports, what are we doing differently now to deliver that change so that we're not just doing business as usual and expecting somewhere at the end we're going to have a saving sizable enough, because you'll find little bits, but you won't find big bits. And so that's an example of doing something different. So, well, hang on, if normal business, we spend the thing and in 2 years' time, as in so many of our places, you'd go and do the next thing and that would have been redundant. And that's the bit we're trying to stop. But then also saying, well, okay, what else could you do to not even need some of those tasks or use AI or whatever it might be?
Start getting it too. Like with Shiloh and I have spoken about when it came to the cleaning contract, we're even looking at all the toilets in Pinaroo. We could maybe close a couple and we can work with the tennis club and all of this sort of stuff and then take that off. Tony with Treasury Management's coming back all the time. Tony with insurance and What was the other one that they tried to charge us a fortune for, that you called?
Insurance and one of those soft leases.
Yeah, so there's another thing too, so it's, yeah, we're hearing it loud and clear.
All those in favour? Against, carried, thank you. Page 83, you again, up to, delegate, geez, they're talking about putting pins in your eyes.
Yeah.
The delegations register update will take, and you got to read all that out, have a look. Happy days.
Piece of blue stuff.
I think we can take that as read because we're not that.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Sharon, things have changed, there's been a couple of things changed. Where?
So, independent missions against corruption act, planning development. And supported residential facilities regulation, that's all being revoked and the new 2024 regulations have come out.
And this is just giving me the same authority.
Yeah, and
To,
we've listed it on there and what's been changed is in blue.
Yeah. Relevant stuff.
Yeah.
We've all read it in depth.
Yeah. Don't hear someone give them.
Do I have a mover?
Yeah, I'll bet.
Neville, seconder. David, anyone want to speak to it? All those in favour? Against, carried, thank you. Yeah, you're never going to get much conversation on that one. Page 220, adoption of terms of reference.
yes, so. Financial Sustainability Committee. We want to get one. And in doing so, we need terms of reference. And here they are. This is being developed with the Yarra City one in mind. Do I use the word plagiarised?
I rang him and asked him if
Yeah.
he could, so yeah, that's fine.
So it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm happy with it. I've left in the couple of contentious items we had when we were talking about the committee. I've left a little bit of room in there for those, so I've got up to 4 councillors, but 2 members of the public, 2 community members. And in there, it does say that a councillor is to be the chair.
And deputy chair.
Got a question on.
Oh, hang on.
Let me, so,
So what we might, is there a lot of talk about this one or just a little bit? Because one I'll suspend it, one we'll just do it as questions.
give a bit.
No, okay, do I have a mover?
Do you want me to read that?
Chris, we're taking the red, we're taking it. Luke, now, I'll start, we'll go around that way, so Trevor. Luke. Neville,
No, I just noticed here, like guys gonna be on it, there's nothing put aside for a travelling allowance if they had to travel towards it or something, so. That'd be young cost if you're on the committee, so.
We've got no budget set aside.
Yes.
For this committee.
Yeah, it's on whoever's on the board. On there.
Yeah.
Just fair.
no,
I still think this committee is a bad idea. I think it's elected members getting involved in operational stuff, which is something should be avoided.
You said that last time.
Yeah.
the only, spoken board council comment, but it has, I can assure you it's been well tested through both our legal sides, through the LGA, through other councils. So yeah, it's not, we're not doing this as an individual, flying out in the crest of a wave. The only thing I'd raised with Jason, and he made mention of it there, I've suggested that the chairperson and deputy chair be the mayor and the deputy mayor, and that wasn't for selfish reasons. It was that you need to run this the same as the rest of the committees. And so just having that confidence that happens, and it's not even so much about this term, but moving forward, the person that chairs this meeting, the mayor, will be elected as a mayor. They won't be coming from the councillor ranks. But they're the only ones that run meetings, so they get exposure to that, they get training in that. So it's a mute little point, it's not a big thing, but it was something I'd raised with Jason, just to say I thought that made sense. And the reason for the deputy mayor was the same here. If the mayor's away, the deputy learns and takes that responsibility. So I was just trying to keep continuity, but you can still have your two other councillors so that they can learn and all that. So that was just a point of mine that I thought made sense, but it's not something to die on the rock over. So I don't know how others feel about that. It's not even worth me moving an amendment. I think we'll just let it roll, but yeah, I guess.
I just assume that would be the case.
Yeah, look, and it's, it could be construed as, oh, you're trying to control it yourself, and that's not what it's about. It's about saying you've got to run the meeting with some structure and whatever, so I'll just leave it and say that I'm happy with it. But I already raised it before. All those in favour? Against? Gary, thank you.
I'm going to call a division.
Yep, no worries. Yep. So then obviously all those are done, so those in favour, Stan, I think it is? Yep.
Yeah, I think so. Right in hand here.
Not good enough.
What, I'm sorry.
No.
No. It's fine. Be lazy to stand up.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you. 11.8, page 228, Regional Development, Australia Murrayland, JB.
Yeah, so this was an interesting one. So the RDA, we don't pay to be a part of anymore. The value wasn't there, as I understand, so we don't pay. And then we got an invoice for $5,000, which we didn't pay. But it was what's going on. And then we received the letter that you can see that was attached here, saying I've looked through all of your public documents, and this is what I think we should be doing is to work with us. Now, to work with us as a group of councils, the Murraylands and Riverland councils. Now, that's all well and good, but we'd already determined not to. And then we get an invoice, and things that are in there are not that we would go to RDA for anyway, things like shared services. And investment and all of this sort of stuff. So it was a little bit interesting. So I want to acknowledge that the RDA has a place and that they need to do what they need to do. However, I don't see the value in it. We don't have $5,000 budget for the RDA. So as a result, the recommendation is that council acknowledges and values the work of the Regional Development Australia, Murraylands and Riverland in fostering regional collaboration and strategic opportunities, and advise the RDA that Southern Mallee District Council will not participate in the funding contribution for 25-26, but remains open to future partnership opportunities that directly align with council's priorities and budget capacity.
What I might do is just add into that before we do go to a mover and seconder. I've said in the past, this has been brought up at MRLGA multiple times. I don't think there's any of the MRLGA member councils are members of the RDA or contributing to the RDA now, including the Murray Bridgeland, Riverland councils and so on. There's the reference in here is to the Murray MR plan, Murraylands Riverland plan. Murraylands, the MRLGA doesn't accept that plan was developed in consideration or collaboration with the regional council that was done as then. And for their own good. The government see them as a delivery partner, but the MRLGA member councils see them as a receiver of money and a chewer of it up and create reports and deliver nothing. Yes, sir.
So we acknowledge it, we don't value it.
Well, yeah, when I read it, I understand what he's doing, which is from a point of view of diplomacy.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to burn your bridges, you don't know what happens in the future, but at the moment, it doesn't align, and hence the reason it's in here is, this could have just not been here. It come to me, it come to Jason. I said, look, I think we should take it to the meeting, and the meeting should vote accordingly, whatever the outcome is, so that it's come from the chamber. It's not my decision, it's not Jason's decision.
Yeah. This was my feeling. And then I spoke to not all of them, but most of the Murraylands and Riverland, and this was, they were like, yeah, no, we're exactly the same as you. Okay. Yeah. A lot of others were quite a bit more, how do I put it? Yeah, a little bit more robust in their no thanks. Yeah, I don't have the history though, so.
Yeah.
So all they're spending this money on anyway, because you never hear what they're spending.
Well, Yeah, so that, I mean, we haven't suspended order, so perhaps we'll move, if you want to keep talking, we'll go into it, but I just wanted you to have that background. So have a mover for that. Trevor, seconder Luke, does anyone want to speak to it? And that'll give you a chance.
No, I just want to know what they, I mean, being honest, I know they've been brought up before, we don't receive any benefit whatsoever, so what the hell? It's what benefit for, that's when I read through it.
What do they actually do?
So Regional Development Australia, that is actually the question that the MRLGA has asked them directly to explain to us what it is that they are there to do and deliver. They're starting to take government, and they get considerable federal government grant money, and they're now getting into mental health and wellbeing and all kinds of things which already have streams to deal with. Regional Development Australia was meant to be exactly that, financial development for regions. So they'll go meet with Pie Group, whatever, and try and find pipeline projects and all that, which is great, but that's not us. And so they consume that money and generate into reports. And what we've argued is to say, well, that grant money, if you put it to the grassroots where it can deliver something, then we can get involved.
So they're basically council's version of NGOs. Really?
They get it from the whole state, it's groups like they're trying to rip it off, so they're trying to just make us do jobs that the government should be doing anyway. I think that's what they're pushing.
I don't think anyone actually knows what they do. Yeah. Anyone else? All those in favour? Against? Carried, thank you. 239.
Resolution status report. So again, I'm gonna take that you've read through it. Of course, give me any questions, but the recommendation is that the council receive a note of contents of this report and determine that the resolutions identified in attachment 1 as completed have been accomplished and no further status reports will be provided on those resolutions.
Movers Luke, seconder David, someone want to speak to that? I probably just want to make a comment, not a question, just a comment. In conversation with Jason past month, probably, he certainly said, and he kind of went to it today to say that he's not in agreement that so many things have been sitting here for so long, and it's a bit aggrieved almost that he's inherited so many unfinished things. So his I guess commitment, but his methodology is going to be, this is not a resting place where things sit endlessly. They come on, they get dealt with. The answer's no, the answer's yes, the answer, whatever it is the answer, and deal with it. And I think that's worth noting because it was starting to grow them, but there still are some old things there, and some of the answers aren't so crash hot. So Jason's committed that that's not going to be the way going forward.
Good job with it.
I think a little bit with this is like, I put in a motion about the faded signs, but I should have had a date.
Yes.
Because that's never ending, like, they should have been finished.
Yeah.
Well, you can redo that. Give it a timeline.
Rescind, yeah.
Yeah.
There's always going to be signs in place, so.
Yeah.
No, it's the dead one, the ones that are just. They're dead, like they don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Well, keep your paintbrush and some paint. You'll have to.
I think you weren't here, Ben was here earlier because he wasn't going to be here tonight, so you come in on the end of it, and certainly he was making comment there that he was looking for the entire organisation to be proactive, and when they see a sign, they report it and deal with it, and that's even them so that he's not leaving it to someone to go out and do this big fix thing. And I think he made it quite clear in his mind that's part of the problem is too many people have been walking past too many things and not saying, oh, that's not right, at least needs logging, and then we'll fix it.
And like Cartee Township, their sign up there for the town is home majorly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I would also say though, you're 100% right. I mean, we've learned so much about how to put motions and what to put in them, and it takes you a term to actually understand how to use the system, and even then it's not perfect.
And that's why I read them and then ask you a question.
Yeah.
What is this one? What do you want me to do?
And then I'm sending him email trails to going back 2 or 3 years. Right, here's the history.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Right. Yeah. Right. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Question on notice. So that's, no, I'm forgettable. There's no drama there. So I guess that's me. Look, so the response has come, so I guess I read it, do I? Yeah. So anyway, I put a question in and it was really bred by me going to the dump as I do. Took my rubbish bin there and I just took a couple of bags. Normally I'm just taking recycling, but this time I took a few bags. I'd taken a couple of bags the last time. I said, look, I owe you for them. And I said, oh, let's just charge us a 240 wheelie bin. I said, yeah, no worries. Paid the fee, come home and went, I wonder what it is if you're bin service. And I worked it out, hang on, 1350, that's double. And yet I've done all the work. And so it didn't make sense to me. I couldn't understand which bit is wrong. And to be honest, after reading the response, I still don't understand which bit is wrong. Is it that the bin fee is not actually taking into account the costs of the landfill and the depreciation and everything else that comes into it, in which case that's wrong? Or is it that $128,000 of landfill cost is not being adequately charged out for the ones that are coming in? Because obviously the rubbish service up until just recently was using landfill. So that was the basis of the question. It wasn't about me having a cheaper bin service or someone else about saying, well, what should it be? Because something's not right.
Right, okay.
Ripped off, I reckon.
Well, no, I think it probably is, well, you can't be paying $6.73 in town and someone's doing it all for you. And $13.50 if you deliver the same bit yourself. It doesn't make sense. And I'm not sure which bit doesn't make sense. And I know a lot of farmers wouldn't have that because they would just put it in their pile and burn it. And that's life. But I happen to take it to the dump. So
Some would have said tied to trees and whales.
Well, I'm just trying to do the right thing, So, it is an honest question is which bit's not right. I don't care if my fee's $30 to deliver the rubbish. It's what should it be and why is there not equity?
So. Great, okay, that explains more, right, so curbside waste is.
Subsidised by farmers.
You did it right.
Curbside waste is subsidised by that charge on the waste charge on the rates.
Or paid for.
For some of us, is paid for. The waste transfer station is not a part of that. The waste transfer stations, it cost us $128,000, but we take in about $20,000 from your $13.50. So the $13.50 is something that is not too high that people won't bring something in, and not too low that everyone brings their stuff in and tries to recoup some cost.
So
we lose $100,000.
Yeah, no, I get that bit, and that's why I started my breakfast with saying, I know I've seen the budget, I know it's a net loss. So my question, I perhaps wouldn't, but maybe I'll send another one. I still want clarification because the curbside collection uses the waste transfer, it uses the dump. Up until recently, it dumped every load was going into the waste facility. And so that 128 is encompassing that whole cost. So I was curious to understand, and again, we've asked this question many a time, is the fee that we've approved for bin fee, is it incorporating everything to do with that service or just the drops or whatever you guys call?
We've answered our own questions. No.
The vehicle, the driver, the truck, the thing.
I'd assume that
That's right.
when you put it in the truck, it just goes in one bin, the bin gets shipped off. You take it to the transfer station, you got to pay someone to man it. It's all separated in piles, and you get people to come and deal with those piles and all that stuff.
Then it's crushed.
That's what the extra cost of the bin doesn't.
And it could be.
That's just me assuming.
That's exactly right.
But does the bin charge now cover the digging of the new hole and all that sort of stuff?
Well, certainly Mark had raised when he was here that he didn't believe that our bin charge included depreciation for the cell and didn't include technically the cell operations, because the waste transfer station has the transfer. You're right. I go and put my rubbish in the bin, this bin and that bin, and they all get picked up by truck.
You got to get a truck there.
But now our truck's driving to the same brickwork, so they're both driving down the road. So again, it's like, well, if I go and put it in the transfer bin and the truck picks it up and drives it down the road, why is that twice the price of bin getting collected there and the truck driving it down the road? I'm not against the bin fee, and I'll pay whatever the fee is. It's more about understanding it, because I'm kind of thinking that there's a fair bit of the 128 that might still be borne by the other bit. And mine's not about having an offset. It's about saying refuge should be a cost recovery part of the bill. And the fact that I use the dump, if my fee's $30 because I use the dump, is that an encouragement for me to not use the dump? Maybe it is, but a lot of people don't use the dump anyway.
Because it's one of those things, if you were to put that dump charge on farmers and stuff like that, like to put it out there, like some places do. And farmers took all their rubbish there, it'd fill up bloody quick.
Yeah, yeah.
I think what it's saying is that if you didn't have the transfer stations open like that, bin fees there would be what they are still now. Because they're just going one bin, they're going, they're not getting sorted out, but to have one there with all those separate things, that's where the extra.
But they're not sorting it, we sort it.
We sort
When I go there, I drop my
Yeah,
rubbish in the rubbish
but the
bin.
cost-
It's just a hook lift picking up a
The
big.
cost to have it open in a facility and someone working
Yeah, yeah.
there and then trucks to come in and deal with it. In the bins picking up from the curbside waste, we're not doing any of that.
We are, 'cause you still got a driver and a truck, it's one person's.
No, but that's all figured out in that thing. So
Yeah,
the transfer station having it there is.
no, I get what you're saying. I guess I want to be confident next time we go into the bin, the fees and charges. I want to be confident that they're correct.
Yeah.
Because it's just another example of 100 grand is, 10% of rates is 500, so,
Could we say those costs, like, if we open the transfer stations only half the time, what
Well,
that?
that-
It's exactly, yeah,
that will be the next question,
I was like, well, I have a friend in that, in Landry, I pay for the extra bin and put my stuff in the bin and get it picked up and save you hacking it.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying, there is a spot there, you could just put everything and take it up.
yeah.
But still, it's.
But then it'll still be 100,
I think
whatever
we
you
just need to
operate
get
that.
on by having.
No, you wouldn't operate if you close down the transfer station, there's no $128,000 fee.
No, there will be, because the transfer station is used by town people as well. It's not just by people outside. All your hard waste goes there, your tyres go, all the other stuff goes there.
Yeah, that's what it's paying for, yeah. So you're saying just your domestic waste, you want a lower fee?
No, I just want to feel confident that the bin fees are correct. That we are covering that full service.
Yeah.
That's all. So,
That's what we know the cost of cover.
we will, yeah.
I mean, that'll be for next
If
year.
it's pay the cost of recovery, then you're gonna charge people going to tip even more.
No.
Because at the moment, we're paying an extra 100 grand a year to cover that cost.
Yeah.
Well, there's multiple ways. I mean, I put a B double load into the dump and it was $2,000. So that means of the 20, I've put in 2. So there's not much money coming into all of our waste transfer stations. That seems really low amount. If
There's
that's
not a
what's
lot of people
happening.
that go there.
Well, there's plenty there every time I go there, but so where does all their hard refuse then go? Anyway,
It's twice much.
it's just, if it's user pays, that's fine, then those rates should go.
I've got it in as actions and
That needs to
is to fees and charges, because this year I was here, well, Mark told me. Fees and charges just went, let's just put it on top.
Yeah.
We won't be doing that this year.
Because otherwise you would take your argument, you do exactly that, what Ben said, you'd put a bin bank on every road for people and you wouldn't have a transfer station at all. Because why would you, if it's half the price?
That's right.
But it doesn't work out like that. Anyway, motions on notice, there are none. Questions without notice? Trevor? No, Neville? Right. Motions without notice? Confidential items, none, meeting closed. At 7:43.